Hi guys. Happy Sunday. What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Creative Conversations. I am waiting for our guest. How are we today? All right, she is on. Hi, Lulu. I just tried to accept your request. Let me see if I can send you one. I invited you. You're in. Lulu, I accepted your request. Here we go. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. You look
You
so
look so
good.
good.
Okay, so you're wearing like full London right now. Your jacket,
I
your hat,
mean, when you
everything.
showed me you had on your best bird, baby, you wasn't about to show me up on here, okay?
He's right here.
So pretty. I love.
Thank you.
How are you today? What's going on? What you did today?
I was drawing all day, so it's pretty
Yeah.
fitting for the conversation
Good.
today. I was just drawing and doing
Good.
homework. You know how it is.
I do. I do. All right. So what I normally do is take the time to just explain what Creative Conversations is. We have people, you're gonna have people who are, your people who are gonna probably join, trying to figure out what this is, and just anyone who's never been on here before. And so Creative Conversations is a space for creatives to come together in communication, talk about the journey, the processes of our creations, and just talk about the things that I feel, don't get to really talk about, or that we don't really see as artists, on the back end of like the challenges, the nose and all these different things. So that's what Creative Conversations is. It's a place to motivate and inspire other creatives to continue to move forward and continue to go on, and know that everything that you are experiencing is a part of the process. So
That's
I
awesome.
have here I call her Lulu Bell, Lulita. Lulu. So Lulu, who are you? What do you do? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Lulu. I studied fashion design at Parsons, but honestly, the way I work is more like I just follow this story first and then the medium comes.
Mm-hmm.
So I work in a lot of mediums. I've been screen printing a lot lately and I do a lot of drawing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing
Oh,
a shirt I screen printed.
I love that, Lulu. Oh my gosh. Let me see.
Wait, here.
I love
It's
that.
actually, it's up there, like the design is this one right here.
Yeah, that is so dope, Lulu.
So I've been really into screen printing and I just like I've been exploring with a lot of mediums because I think, I'm in university, I'm still studying, so I have opportunities to work with a lot of mediums and I try to do that. Um, Fashion is amazing, but I also like to merge with everything that comes in my way. So yeah, sometimes that's drawing. I do a lot of comics. Sometimes it's a garment. I've been making a lot of hats too. Yeah, but I think like the common ground for me is always like the theme, which is about love It's about
Yeah.
melancholy. I
Yeah.
also do a lot of like humor recently.
Okay.
Um, but it's like a lot of like the tiny dramas of everyday life, and everything starts from very emotional moments, and then I let it grow as it needs. That's why I'm not very like defining myself yet as what I want to do or the type of medium I want to pursue. I'm just doing whatever my heart tells me.
I love that. I mean, that's an artist, and I feel like to be so young and where you are, that's like the perfect. You're exactly where you need to be able to explore. And although I'm in a phase of exploring too, but to be able, like you said, while you're there in school, have the tools to back you. Yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal thing is to always be discovering and evolving, but it is true there comes a point in everybody's life where they gotta specialize. Unfortunately, it's hard to avoid that. Some people do, you know. I hope that I'm one of those people who avoid it, but as you're saying, you know, like while you're in university, it's great to explore and to see all the options. Like, I feel like a lot of people like limit themselves where they're still very young,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get to a point where it's very hard to go back. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen to me.
It's not. You are very talented. You're very wise. This is something that I admire about you so much. You're so young, but you're so wise, and just my little Taurus Lolita. Yeah, I don't understand. I love this girl so much. She's just, I love her. You know what it is? I see myself in you for
Hmm.
sure. And but you're like 10, 20 steps ahead of where I was, like, absolutely. So
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you. Continue to follow your heart, continue to follow your passion. I
yeah.
really love that about you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I feel like I grew up in an environment where nothing was out of limits for me, thankfully. And my mom, especially, has always pushed me to pursue anything and like
Mm-hmm.
whatever felt right. So I've been very lucky in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I also like spent a lot of time by myself when I was in high school, which is very good and useful for a young
And
person.
Lulu's a twin at that. So.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like when you spend like time by yourself and you read a lot and you reflect while you're young,
Mm-hmm.
you do a lot of growing that you wouldn't do otherwise, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you get to know yourself a bit better, which is great when you're young, you know, and you're like taken by all these different like lights and colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to like have a to be with yourself while you're
That
young.
grounding.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't have that, or a lot of people, you know, they struggle a little bit with that, with like being by themselves when you're young, because it is a
Mm-hmm.
very scary time. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that it's always very useful to like get to know yourself, and that way you will, you know a bit better what you want, which you never really know, you know, but at least you have a head start.
Yeah. 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 What made tell well first tell people where you're from.
I'm from Spain. I grew up there and I came to the United States to study fashion. I'm graduating next semester, so this is my fourth year in the city. And yeah, I
Or
love it.
what do y'all do?
Do we do that?
Yeah.
Isn't that more Italian? We're like, yeah.
That is so cool. So what made you think that, oh, was it New York? Like you knew you wanted to come to New York, or yeah, what made you?
Um, I had an interesting like trajectory in school. I was gonna study business, and then
Ah, really?
yeah, it was. I actually never had like formal training in arts. I like right before my 2 years of high school, I switched. Like 2 weeks before school started, I had like a breakdown, and I was like, I don't want to do like marketing or business or whatever. I was like, I thought I should do. I want to pursue design, any kind of design. I hadn't, you know, made up my mind, but I knew that I wanted to switch. And my school didn't really have like arts, like as thing.
In
But
high
they
school?
had, yeah, like in my high school, we had the international system
Hmm.
in which there was a visual arts.
Program.
But yeah, but it wasn't very like formal. It was very like for you to explore, and you were like really self-taught. So really, when I got to university, I felt like I didn't really have much experience,
Mm,
and I was really scared in my drawing class because
yeah.
I think that drawing class is very intimidating for anyone who hasn't, done it before, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came to school a bit scared, like design school, because
Hmm.
my school was very big with sciences and humanities and not with art. So I kind of like most of my portfolio and what I submitted was stuff that I did
Your own personal
besides.
stuff.
Yeah.
That is
So
so
I,
dope.
so I like my first drawing class. I remember it very well. It was nerve-wracking. I was shaking.
What happened, Lou? Tell us.
I was just like, it was like the first class, and they had already called a model in, I guess. Like we were modeling for the class, and you had to like do a live drawing, and I had never done that. And I felt like, my professor was like looking at me, and I was like, I know that he knows that I don't know anything. And like all of these kids, all of these kids look like they know what they're doing, and I don't know what I'm doing at all. And it was like really tough. But then I worked really hard at that class because I knew that I had, to step up with in comparison to many of the kids in my class.
Hmm.
And I ended up, working really hard for it. And then that professor became like one of my main mentors.
Oh, I love
And like
that.
as I move forward, I always meet with him. His name is Paul Corio, and he's like the best. He's a
I love
painter.
that.
And I always like every time I feel like I don't know where I'm going or I have too many tangents that I can't wrap together, I
Hmm.
go to him and I always ask him the same questions, and then he's always like, "You're fine, you're learning, you're
Yeah.
growing, you will get there, and you're having a
Yeah.
natural trajectory and it's gonna be fine." And I believe him.
That's the important part, that you believe him.
Exactly, yeah.
I love that. I love that. What were you drawing today?
So today I actually have it stuck on my wall. You can't even see it well because it's like a collage of lace. And then I'm drawing
Ooh.
on top of the lace so that the texture kind of comes through.
Oh
And you
my
can see there's like the beginning of
gosh.
a person,
I
like
see
here.
it.
And then there's going to be another person and they're going to be embracing, which is going to be like part of, I'm making, I guess, like a series. It's not really a series because I never planned it out. But you see like those lovers over there?
Yeah, I do.
They're all part of the same sort of thing where I kind of like collage with lace and figure out how the lace can incorporate into the drawing because I'm working with textiles as well. I don't have them here,
Hmm.
but all of those drawings become textiles and then they become like collage.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like where my thesis is going, like a lot of like illustration, and then there's the lace, and there's like a lot of antique things and very like Spanish things,
Hmm.
and it's all like merging into
Romantic and
each other.
soft.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of what I was doing. I was trying to figure out a new lace
I
collage,
love that.
and then I was making some more comics,
Yes.
or like like little scenes that I like to draw, and they're like
Yeah.
very very emotional and the theme makes itself. It's just based on how I'm feeling, and I'm usually feeling very romantic.
I
So
love I love that. I love that. Tell us about your children's book, The Bat and Girl.
yeah, so I've been mingling with the creative, the what was it? Creative writing, yeah,
Yeah.
creative writing program,
Hmm.
which because I go to Parsons, and the great thing about going to college in in the US, but specifically in Parsons, is that you can like take all of these different classes and talk to all these different peoples from different majors. And creative writing has always been an interest of mine, so I did take a lot of classes in that, and I took a um, children's book writing class from a master's program. And that was like last semester, and I was really encouraged to get those stories out of me because they had always been like brewing up inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really motivated to pursue that, and it became a really big passion for me. And I basically created a little universe based on my birds and all those things that
Yeah.
I love, in which birds kind of become a metaphor to tell stories of everyday life and lessons that you learn growing up, which I think are important, even though I do think kids teach us more than we teach them.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's kind of how my stories work, which is a principle for many,
Mm-hmm.
I think, for many writers, in which you want to like observe kids and how they think because it's pure and it's not, um, based on so many prisons that we build for ourselves
Outside
as we grow up.
influences and yeah.
Yeah. So like I wrote a story about a girl who lives among birds, but she doesn't she thinks of herself as a bird. So obviously that's a very like free way of growing up because you're
Mm-hmm.
not subject to so much like perception and stereotypes. And she is convinced that she's a bird and she's trying as hard as she can to fit in with the birds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've written a couple of stories in that sort of like universe
Mm-hmm.
and also illustrations, which I have a few here, but
Yeah, show them.
yeah, so she's like just a girl trying to prove to herself that she's a bird,
Mm.
and that means a lot of like conflict for her because she's obviously not a bird.
Yeah.
And as it happens, with humans, we're always trying to prove ourselves that we're kind of like normal and we're like the rest, but everybody has their things about them.
That's right. That's right.
So these are like some examples of birds that I've drawn.
That is so beautiful, Lou. Put it up to the closer to the camera. Yeah, there you go.
This is
That
Mr.
is
Swift,
Mr. Swift, like the Swift jacket.
which is right here.
Ah, let me see it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Lou. That is fire. So this is a collaboration with 1432 that Lulu did. So 1432 is the brand that I work for. It is a Pakistani streetwear brand. You guys have heard me say this over and over again. It's a Pakistani streetwear brand. Everything is handmade in Pakistan from recycled materials. The Swift is going to be your t-shirt scraps, embroidery, and then also the leaves. And so Lulu did her illustration, and the team in Pakistan, our artisans, made it come to life. And this is it right here. That's so
Yeah.
dope. That is
Yeah.
amazing, Lulu.
The Swift is like my favorite bird. He has his own story in, this universe that I've created, and he's a very like pessimistic little bird, and he learns a lot with
Hmm.
the little girl that is the main
Hmm.
character. And it's a beautiful metaphor about, to me at least, it's a very beautiful metaphor in human nature because the swift is a bird that cannot take flight from the ground. It's very hard for them to like take flight from the ground because they have very short legs and very big wings.
Hmm.
So they're kind of very clumsy, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to like take flight, so they have to always like jump from high places, and then they spend like so long flying, like they can spend months at a time in
Mm.
the air, and they mate in the air, and they eat and drink in the air. It's a really like,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. They like drink from like the droplets, and like they eat the insects.
Wow.
It's a fascinating animal, and I grew up with the swift because they're in Spain. So like
Yeah.
at dawn, you can always hear them like during the summer, and it was very nostalgic for me, and I've always really
Mm.
loved them. And the way it works, kind of like in Spain at least, it's a very common thing that whenever a swift drops to the ground, you kind of like propel it back into the sky because they can't do
Mhm.
it by themselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Now, what was you were telling me, what is the connection with the Swift in Pakistan to also?
Yeah, the swift is also a bird that like migrates to Pakistan. They're like in a lot of diverse places over the world, and in that sense, they're kind of a bridge between Pakistan and Spain because they're very far away. But
Yeah.
there's swifts in both of them, and Yeah, it's like if you ever see a swift struggling in the ground, it's always great to propel it. And I always thought like when it came to like 1432, the swift kind of like represented that wish to help other people and to like
Hmm.
propel them back into the sky, because it's important to help each other out. And so that's why I did like a little homage to the swift.
That's
And I
amazing.
have a photo. This is actually a swift, and my mom is like holding it because
Get
the
closer. Let me see. Oh, that is so beautiful.
that's just a swift, and he fell, and then my mom picked it up and I took a photo. And yeah, it was a very beautiful moment. They're beautiful birds, like up close. They're so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Are they scared? Like when you go to try to, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're scared, but yeah, not all of them make it. Like some of them,
Mm,
are too weak, and they've like, it's a really sad, way of like passing away, because they're like they rot alive. It's like a like the insects will, get their way, and it's like really sad to see them on the ground. So it's always, encouraged to help them, even though we shouldn't really get in the way of nature. But
yeah, yeah.
we live in this, like, I live in the city where, a lot of them are there, and we've had a few encounters with them, and some of them have been successful, and some of them have not. But
So
that's
do
kind of
they
like
know?
where
Uh-huh.
this illustration came from. Like, he just fell from the tree, and he's waiting for someone to help him up.
That is so, oh, you're so amazing, my little, I love you. So so there's instances where you might try to propel it and it just it'll,
Sometimes they're sick. Sometimes you just, I mean, we try to take them to the vet or whatever you can do, but yeah, it depends. It's been a really long time since I've last seen one, but the last, like, when that happened, they were able to propel
good,
them back into
good,
the sky. So
good.
that's good.
That's really, really amazing. And I love how you connected everything together. And I love how you also like you're like me. You're a sponge, so you absorb everything. And like Amar, being the one of the co-founders of 1432 and the head designer, and also a professor at Parsons. But he's so intentional about everything that all his the colors and what they mean and what this article of clothing is and what it represents. And so to see that come together, like to see your story come together like that is just, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always looked up to Amar. He knows it. I always
I
tell
know it,
him.
yeah.
He gets flustered and he's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I really look up to him, and I'd love to be like him one day, because I do have, dreams about education and design at the same time, and meaning and storytelling. And I think we're very alike in that sense. I do think, I also think we're both kind of like introverts in a way, even though
Hmm.
he's very like social, and I'm also very social. But I think that at heart he's a big introvert, and he's very like emotional and intentional about the stories he chooses to tell.
Hmm.
He just knows how to formalize them better because, of course, he's been in the industry for so long.
Yeah,
But I do still think he's a big introvert, and he has a lot about himself that is very, poetic and similar to how I feel and
yeah,
view the world.
yeah,
So I do think we have a common,
yeah. Poetic was a perfect adjective. Yeah. Do you see anything?
Do I see anything? Do I see it? Oh, oh my God! I love it. Yes.
So guys, Lulu drew this of me. This
Yeah,
is me at 1432 wearing her sweatshirt.
I love it.
I love this photo. I'm this drawing. It oh my gosh. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
that's the drawing I did of her with my favorite hairstyle she's ever worn. Even though I have to say, you hadn't worn the pink braids before I drew you with that one. I don't know which one's I do think that one's still my favorite, because I think it looks so like, you look like a doll, like a little Lala Loopsy. know. I love it, and I thought I'd immortalize you in this, uh, light,
I was
which is
speechless. I incredible, man. I just look at me. I can't stop cheesing. It was so beautiful. You're
I'm
so
so glad.
talented. So talented. So now with everything that you've been studying and doing thus far, and although you are working on your thesis for fashion, but you also, your illustrations and writing and all these things that you've now had the opportunity to kind of tap into, what is your favorite?
That's a great question.
Or what do you see
Um,
yourself like going? Because I know, and we've had this discussion before. Like, yeah, you like fashion, but that's not really like your main thing that you want to do.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's true. I think that in the real world, outside of my fantasies, which involve not choosing, of course, I do see myself going into embroidery design or
Oh.
textile design of some sorts, like mixed media embroidery, because it's a way for me to merge illustration with so many
Mhm.
other techniques, and
Mhm.
I think I'm really beginning to explore how I can express myself through that because I've always been very focused on learning construction, and like I
Mhm.
had this idea of fashion as, learn to be a designer of garments and construction. But I've kind of like found my passion recently for textile art and like embroidery. I've always been into embroidery, but now I've been combining it with screen printing, with
Mhm.
collage, with layering, and it's been a really like fulfilling journey. So I do see myself in embroidery design. Um, I do wish I had explored this earlier. I think this idea has been in my mind for a really long time, but because
Mhm.
I was focused on construction, I feel like my garments have been a bit lacking of that personality and that special something that
Mhm.
takes everything that I know.
Mhm.
But for my thesis, I'm really emphasizing that. So I'm hoping I
So
have
more
enough time.
texture, more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
love
that's
that.
kind of what I think. Yeah,
I love that. You should definitely connect with Maham
yeah. She's
for
great.
sure.
I love the stuff she makes.
Yeah, that would be. I would definitely, when you have time. I know both of you are kind of in your
Yeah,
thesis here, I believe, but yeah, because she also, although she's textiles and weaving and stuff, she's also going to atelier and with I don't really, I gotta touch base on her with her on what exactly her atelier is doing for her as it pertains to her artistry.
yeah,
But yeah, that she would be like an excellent person for you to connect with, and yeah, y'all are already, you already know each other, go to the same school, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, Lolita. What's up? What else? Anything you want to tell me?
I don't know. You tell me. We could talk about comics. We could talk about inspirations. We could talk about clothing.
Talk about your comics.
Okay.
You said it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, this is good. This is good for me. I need to like talk
Yeah,
about.
I know.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. I guess I like illustration for me is it's a great way to like kind of like let go of a lot of stories that haunt me. And comics are obviously a narrative, and it's very like freeing for me to put those things to pen and paper and like actually write and
Mhm.
draw, because I do love both. And
Mhm.
comics is kind of where those come into place. I don't necessarily love making comics. I think um of course it's very tedious. A lot of
Yeah.
things are very tedious, but especially comics for me, I've always been scared of them because of the idea of repetition, and
Mhm.
it's a very hard medium to um, approach as someone who doesn't have that much experience in
Mhm.
drawing. But I can't help it. It's like my hand just wants to make a narrative.
Yeah. So what comes
And
first, the story or the illustration?
I definitely, I mean, it's a mix of both. I think sometimes I draw one illustration that maybe doesn't have like a narrative aspect to it, but then it inspires a whole narrative, so the visual comes first.
Hmm.
But usually it starts with writing down thoughts and then they kind of become a narrative. I use like humor a lot and an irony, and I just kind of make fun of myself,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest. Because you can't take yourself so seriously, And I think that studying fashion design is feels very serious, and it's my career. So sometimes being able to like get an escape through comics and like make fun of myself and the way that I'm feeling
Hmm.
is very comforting and kind of gets me through the day in fashion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
love that, and that is also a narrative within itself, within the industry. It's like I think the industry is changing from all of that seriousness and people wanting more than just, spending astronomical amounts of money on fabrics just because, or, you know, the name of the brand or whatever. People are wanting to feel something more. People are wanting to have stories and more than just I'm here, consume me. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I was just talking to my friend the other day. I do think, the fashion industry is so much more than that nowadays, which I'm very thankful for. And I do think that not just in fashion, but in every field, oftentimes, you can make whatever field way better and like not better,
Hmm.
but like more original, maybe
To
different.
change it, yeah.
Yeah, by like including things from other fields, like cross-disciplinary thinking and like merging different fields is what makes them so rich. And that's kind of what I really like about fashion is that it's very often that it's very open to new approaches and like I mean everything has been done, but there's
Hmm.
so many ways in which people are including things that they're passionate about in other fields in fashion, which is precisely the reason why their fashion is so interesting.
That's
So it's
right.
it's not that you have to learn a lot about fashion to make something good and original. You actually can do that without knowing much
Right.
about fashion and knowing more about other fields.
That's right.
Or actually, not any field at all. Let's just not know anything about anything ever.
That's how essentially started. Like it wasn't like, I did go to a art school and for fashion, but even then it wasn't the greatest art school or greatest fashion school, so I didn't really get the education that I feel like I deserved in that field and industry. But I just like what I like. Like I just, my art, I get inspired by all kinds of things. I get inspired by my culture. I get inspired by colors. Like I used to hate pink. I don't know where this pink thing came from, and I could not stand pink. And now
I
look at
see.
me.
I see.
Look at
Yeah.
me.
No,
Okay.
I know exactly. I used to hate the color like green screen green. It was like the
Ugh.
color I hated the most. My favorite dress is green screen green. You never know.
You never know. So, and it has to do with your timing as well. Like again, I was younger back then and I was a tomboy back then. Like I wasn't like I still like to dress and but I didn't it couldn't be too girly. Like too much was like okay now. But now I want to feel romantic and girly, and this is just a new phase in my life that I'm like, this is where I am, this is the energy that I'm feeling, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to evolve from it. I'm not going to say, oh, because I've always been this way, that this is how I'm going to be now. So definitely taking inspiration from, like you said, not just the industry that you're in, but
Yeah.
everything.
And I think it's so important. I feel like, we as humans, I mean, we're very obsessed with defining ourselves. And like, especially,
Hmm.
in social media, it's all about who are you? What's your brand? But the truth is that we're always evolving and we're always changing. And if you look at art history, the best artists are always the ones who really evolved and changed and refused to pick a side. And I think that's true for like human nature as well, and that you shouldn't repress anything you're feeling. If you're feeling more of a tomboy one day and then the next you're not, it's not real anyway.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not real anyway, so just do whatever you want to do.
yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking also about like today and what you said about like just now about society and like it just feels so weird. Like I was just on social media and I'm just looking through and just scrolling like we all do. And I'm like, every single person's page is curated. Like everybody's, there's not one normal person that just is posting because, you know what I mean? Like we all are like
Yeah,
having to be this thing and having to be like something to essentially value ourselves, right? Because we're trying to get the value or we're trying to get the what am I trying to say? The attention and the oh, I can't think of the word.
the aesthetic.
The
We're like trying to define our like
not
aesthetic.
the oh my gosh. It's gonna come to me. But basically, just basically getting the attention of everyone else, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to get this amount of followers to essentially get this deal through whatever advertisements or companies coming to us to post their stuff or whatever you're doing it for. But it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I feel like I've always had a very love-hate relationship with social media. I've always like seen why we have to do it, and I've seen
exactly.
some value in it. I've also connected with a lot of people that have similar interests because I've displayed mine on social media. And I do love the process of like, I love imagery, I love to curate.
Right, right,
And I've always really been into that, but I've always had times where I break free from social media and I realize that the relationships that matter to me in the end of the day are not defined by what they think about my social media or vice versa. It's like I've always been someone that makes a lot of meaningful connections away from the internet. So to me, it's um it's important because I want to survive.
exactly.
And I want to, be a part of what everybody else is a part of. But I think like as I grow up, I get better and better at detaching myself from it, and I really do live real life. And then I work on social media as a project, because I feel like I have to, and that it's a good thing. But I'm pretty good at not mm, basing my value on my social media and my amount of followers. I don't really have that many followers, and I don't really care. I just want to make
Good.
sure that it's like my portfolio is alive and like I can post things and people can reach out to me if they wanted to. And um, that's the way things go, I guess. I really wish I was a revolutionary in that, but I'm on the gram these
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Yeah, validation. That's the word I was looking for. Validation.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I always think like, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, if you like, the algorithm is very accurate and it only shows you things that, don't really question your whatever it is, your opinions, your style, your art. And I think it's a great thing to be with people that are in the same kind of like understanding that you are, because we do live in a very lonely world. And social media makes it easy to connect with those people and to feel less lonely. But I do think that you shouldn't rely on it too much. You should always try to put yourself in spaces where they kind of interrogate what you're about. And I mean, school does it for me.
I was just about to say it's easier definitely for you as a student because
Yeah.
you're around people all, that's what you guys are.
Mhm.
Therefore, to, socialize amongst each other, especially you're in classes with each other, although, it could be the same with people who work, so going to work and being around, your employees or whatever. But who's to say that you will mesh? I feel like school has way more of an option of people to choose from. But I love working in the market for that reason, because there's so many people from around the world. You never know who you're meeting, what you're meeting, not what you're meeting, a human, I hope, but who you're meeting, what part of the world they're from. Yeah, that's what I love, is because I meet people in the market that I do connect with on social media, and they may live in Spain or Italy, and they're like, hey, I'm coming to New York this week. Are you going to be there? And I'm like, hell yeah, come through. So I love stuff like that, but the idea that you have to be something in order to succeed, I guess, is
Yeah.
like, it's over for that. I feel like it's changing. I feel like more people are doing more of this, communication, more of like things not having to be so perfect to post it, or, you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I want to wrap it up. I know you're tired. You got school tomorrow.
I do.
You do? All right. I'm gonna pull a card. I have a my sis has a affirmation deck that she does her own like graphic. So she created this artwork on it. This is all of her artwork. And so
Nice.
it's an affirmation deck that she created. And so
Mhm.
at the end, I like to pull a card just to see what the message is for our conversation, the message for whoever may see this. Okie dokie. Very specific today. Ooh, two. I attract what I want by being what I want.
Okay. I like that.
I love that.
Mhm.
Everything I need comes to me exactly at the right moment.
That's great. I really want to believe that.
You've got to. It does. I feel like, and even what you're studying, like you said, you started one way, and now, although you're still in that direction or on that journey, you're starting there, but you're not going to finish there, or you've gained so much more on your journey along the way. And so everything and all the tools that you need for your next phase and your next part of the journey, it comes to you when you need it. So you
Yeah.
already living it, girl.
Yay! I'm so happy. I mean, being young is tough, I guess. There's so much insecurity and whatever.
It's so much. I can't take it. It's so hard. Oh my God.
But it's okay. I mean, that's everybody, and the sun still rises.
It does. And I was listening to an Erica Badu song last night. There's an album called Mama's Gun that is this year made 25 years since she released it.
Mhm.
And there's this song on there that, so when this album was released, I was 12, right? So I didn't really, 12, I'm outside playing tag. Like, I wasn't really listening to music, like sitting down intentionally to listen to music. If it was on, it was on. Um, but I discovered the song at 20, right? And at 37, I'm able to see what exactly that song was about and apply the experiences that I went through, um, to now move forward into my new phase of my life. So I think that, again, everything that we need in the moment will reveal itself. That song has been with me since, uh, well, I discovered it at 20, but it's been out since I was 12, right? And so it didn't reveal itself to me until I needed it to, for
Right.
what it was on my journey. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by, like, you're living it, you know. You're gonna go through right now. You're young, and your phases of life is just about, um it's learning. It's learning the good, the bad, what you like, what you don't like, um, what is good for you, what is not. These are all the things that, you're going through now, and you have a better, perspective. I feel like you have a lot of wisdom, um, to propel you forward, because even in tonight's conversation, um, you're able to identify when these things happen and say, hey, yeah, I started this, but I don't like this, so I'm going to go in another direction. Or
Mhm.
these are my emotions. Let me express them by creating a comic because I have to get it out some kind of way. Like, people your age don't do things like that. They don't really, it's just like, oh, what is this? Why do I feel like this? Um, let's go out and drink, or, whatever. So whatever y'all do.
You can do both.
Sure you do. But yeah, so all in all, I'm so proud of you. So, so, how old are you, Lou?
I'm 21.
21, my little Lulu Bell. So I'm so proud of you at 21. Yeah, I was just out there living the best life, okay?
Hey, everybody has a different journey.
You okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'm also out and about.
I love it. I love you. Please never, never change. Only for the better. Your energy, your personality, your, uh humor is everything. And many blessings on your journey moving forward, many blessings on your journey now. Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much. I love
welcome.
you.
I love
And,
you
and
so much.
we've been working together for a long time, and I've learned so much from you. I
Hmm.
still remember, that one week we spent together, in
What
which we had a week where we worked, and we were like
is that when I was making
hanging
you talk?
out. We were hanging out a lot, and I was learning a lot from you and the way that you see the world and all that. And it was a very stop, London, stop.
What week was this? What are we talking about
It
here?
was last summer. I was like your sidekick for a little while. Maybe you don't
Yes.
remember, but I
Yes.
remember being your sidekick for a little
Yes.
while.
Yes. Yes.
And it was very motivating, and I think I changed a lot in the way that I.
You have definitely. I remember this little Lulu Bell nugget was so quiet, and so see how soft spoken she is. Yeah, hello. So she'd be like, "Hi, how you doing? This is." I'm like, Lulu, can I hear you? What are you saying?
Right.
And so I just told her, once I found out that she was a designer and she saw her talents and gifts, I'm like, all right, girl, you need to speak up if you want to be discovered in this world. And I was talking to myself as well, but you need to be seen, and you need to be able to articulate, which you are a very great communicator, but or and your, anxiety or whatever it is may take all over, but your talents and your gifts are so much greater than that. And so now I can't get her to be quiet. And so I'm so grateful for that, though. I've seen the change. You are so outspoken. You are so like, especially when it's about your stuff, like the passion is just like, okay, yeah. So this is the Swift and da 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 da. And I love that. I love that now. So I want you to continue to do that. I want you to continue to be bold in everything that you do. Continue to be you. Don't let anybody change you in that regard. And as far as like what you feel like you want to create or what you need to do, because it's going to change regardless. It's going to change as you evolve. It's going to change as you continue on your journey. So, yeah, you
Yeah.
inspire me and you teach me so much too. So, vice versa.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. I love you, girl. Good night.
I love you.
I'll
Bye
talk to you
bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.